Xin chào khán thính giả. Thưa quý vị, gần đây, một người đàn ông Canada tên là Brent Braden đã bất ngờ nhận được một gói hàng từ Trung Quốc. Bên trong là một tiêu bản VịT CON 3 đầu, kèm theo tờ giấy hướng dẫn sử dụng. Do không có nguồn gốc email của người gửi, nên Brent Braden đã chia sẻ câu chuyện này lên mạng xã hội nhờ cư dân mạng giúp đỡ, hy vọng có thể tìm ra manh mối người gửi. Brent Braden là một cư dân sống tại thành phố Halifax, Canada, đã nhận được một gói hàng đến từ Trung Quốc. Ban đầu anh nghĩ đó là quả bóng tập thể dục mà anh đã đặt mua trên mạng gửi đến, nhưng khi bóc gói hàng ra, anh đã rất hoảng hốt khi phát hiện bên trong là một tiêu bản của một con vịt 3 đầu. Brent đã kiểm tra bao bì bên ngoài của gói hàng này và xác nhận tên người nhận hàng và địa chỉ ghi trên đó đúng là của anh. Điều này có nghĩa là bưu tá đã không gửi nhầm, nhưng anh khẳng định rằng mình không đặt mua tiêu bản VịT CON. Anh Brent còn kiểm tra lại lịch sử giao dịch thẻ tín dụng của mình để xem anh có từng đặt mua hàng trực tuyến trong khi say rượu không, nhưng anh vẫn khẳng định rằng anh không đặt mua tiêu bản động vật. Anh Brent đã tra cứu trên mạng và phát hiện giá của một tiêu bản VịT CON là không hề rẻ, nó dao động từ 80 đến 200 đô la Mỹ. Ngoài ra, anh Brent còn tìm thấy một tờ hướng dẫn sử dụng bên trong gói hàng, bên trên có ghi địa chỉ email. Brent nói rằng anh đã gửi email đến địa chỉ này để hỏi xem họ có gửi nhầm gói hàng hay không, nhưng đối phương có vẻ như không hiểu tôi đang hỏi điều gì và còn cho rằng tôi muốn mua hàng. Do đó tôi đã gửi lại email và hỏi thêm nhiều thông tin hơn, nhưng họ không trả lời. Anh Brent cho biết anh đã tiến hành tra cứu trên mạng và phát hiện tên viết trên địa chỉ email này trùng với tên của một nhà động vật học Trung Quốc. Được biết, nhà động vật học này đã từng tạo ra các tiêu bản lớn như voi, hươu cao cổ, vân vân. Đột nhiên nhận được tiêu bản VịT CON 3 đầu quái dị này khiến anh Brent cảm thấy rất kỳ lạ. Do đó, anh đã chia sẻ câu chuyện của mình lên Facebook và nhờ cư dân mạng giúp đỡ tìm manh mối người gửi. Brent Braden nói rằng mặc dù không cảm thấy tức giận khi nhận được gói hàng kỳ lạ này, nhưng tôi nghĩ rằng đây không phải là một món quà đến từ một người bạn nào đó của tôi, mà là có kẻ thù muốn nguyền rủa tôi. Cảm ơn quý vị đã xem video và gặp lại video tiếp theo.
If you are an animal lover, this next story might not be for you, but for everyone else, it is about a taxidermied duck with 3 heads. That is what arrived in the mailbox last week at Brent Broughton's place here in Halifax, and Karsten Knox called Brent to find out what?
So I got this package last Tuesday in the afternoon. It was just a regular brown cardboard box, about half the size of a shoebox. And it just had a return address to somewhere in China. And I opened up the box, and inside the box there was another box, and then I opened up that box, and inside that was a whole lot of plastic and packaging. And then I tore away its plastic and packaging, and then one of the duckling's faces emerged, and I immediately sort of jumped back. It wasn't what I expected, certainly, but then when I gained the courage to go back to the box and dig a little bit further, I noticed it wasn't just one head, but there were 3 duckling faces staring back at me.
And so your name was mailed to you directly, though, right?
It was mailed to me directly, yes. So it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't like these ducklings were intended for some other recipient. They were definitely intended for me, but I certainly did not order these ducklings. Though, that being said, I have gotten drunk and ordered weird things in the past. So my first thought was, because I had a little bit too much to drink the Wednesday before, and perhaps when I came home, I without sort of remembering it, maybe I went onto eBay or something and ordered a 3-headed taxidermy duckling. But I checked all my bank statements, and there's no record of me buying this. So this was purchased by somebody else.
Does it come with any instructions?
Yes, actually, the 3-headed taxidermy duckling did come with a set of instructions. The instructions were to let it sit out in the sun or in the open air for, I think, 48 hours, because it had been in a package for a long time. I guess sort of the same way as you'd want to off-gas a new mattress. That's the way I saw it anyways. And then the second instruction was this is something that I found kind of strange. It asked me to use a regular hair blow dryer to fluffy the duck's feathers.
Okay, which I saw you posted a video of you doing that very thing.
I did. I don't know what it is, but I'm really good at following instructions.
And is there a name of the company that has sent this to you? I mean, do you have any sense of who the folks in China are?
No, I did a little bit of online research to sort of try and figure out what this company is. Like, I'm assuming that it's a taxidermy company. The only information on the package was an email for something called VԼoLang at yahoo.com. So I sent them a message, and I got a message back that was kind of like they didn't quite understand what I was asking. They wanted to know if I wanted to buy something, and so I asked for more information, but they haven't gotten back to me yet. So I'm currently in the middle of having a back and forth with the company. I think it's a company. It might just be someone named Lo-Lang who's just does all the taxidermy themselves. I did a little bit more research. I got a little bit deeper into it. There is a story I found online about a Chinese zoologist who brings taxidermied animals back to life, and he has the same name. I think he really more specializes in larger animals like elephants and giraffes and things. But so I don't know if it's the same person.
When you say brings taxidermy animals back to life, what do you exactly mean by that?
Yeah, I guess maybe that's a funny way of putting it. Because once something's taxidermied, it won't necessarily come back to life. But I guess there's something about the art of taxidermy itself that it does really take the shell of a deceased creature, and it does breathe some sort of life back into it.
Right, except this is the shell of three deceased creatures, I guess.
Yeah, this definitely, I guess you could say that this has three souls, perhaps. I didn't look at, I'm actually looking at it right now, Karsten, and I can't tell if this was just a single duck where the two extra heads were sewed on, or if this was a natural mutation. But this is a conversation I've gotten into online because I decided to sort of throw it up online to ask what I should name the duck, and if, because it has three heads, if it deserves three names. And someone did get back to me and said having three heads means it probably had three brains, so that would conclude that there are three souls, in which case there should be three names attached to it. A lot of people, when I asked, their first reaction was, well, you should obviously call them Huey, Dewey, and Louie, from the Disney stories, and I liked that, but I thought it was a little pedestrian as well. The top two that I sort of came up with from my search online with my friends who had their own ideas were sort of a toss-up between Cerberus, which would be the three-headed dog that guards Hades in Greek mythology. This is a sort of a similar creature. Between that and Howard's the duck. Howard's being plural, meaning that all three heads would be named Howard, but also a nice, interesting reference to that terrible film from the late 80s.
Now, I have heard, and tell me if you've heard this as well, that there are some companies that send free samples of products out into the world in order to garner sort of online viral success. Do you have a sense that maybe this is what that might be?
Well, that's an interesting thought, Karsten. There are a couple other people who brought that up as well. Yeah, I mean, that seed thing was definitely an issue. The difference between this and that, I think, is that when I looked up online to see what a three-headed taxidermy duckling would be worth, the lowest the lowest I found that I could purchase this myself was like $80 to $90. Those are U.S. dollars, but most of them are closer to like $150 to $200. So it's not like it's not just a package of seeds. This is an expensive artifact. I can't imagine a company just throwing around all of these potentially, just sort of like sending away all these ducklings when they're quite valuable.
Well, that is a mystery then. I appreciate you sharing this story with us. Thanks so much, Brent.
Hey, no problem. I really hope that I do find out who sent it to me. I figure it's either a friend who really who likes the idea of giving me a mystery, or it's an enemy who's trying to send a cursed object to me. Either way, I think it's pretty interesting, and I guess in these sort of COVID days, it's nice to have something whimsical happen to you once in a while.
That was Brent Broughton speaking with Carson Knox. Brent received a three-headed duckling in the mail recently. That's it. That's the story. That's why we called him up, because he received a three-headed duckling in the mail and he doesn't know where he came from.